Colon heads up play to second. Got him. Oh! Unbelievable! Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. After splitting 4 games with the Tigers, the Royals had a much-needed off day yesterday and now begin a 3-game series with the Cleveland Indians tonight. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Brian Lefevre. Joel Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery are coming up. Many thought the Indians would be better than the Royals this year, and you could spend a lot of time comparing the Royals and Indians on offense. You could compare them on the mound, but where there is no comparison whatsoever is defensively.
Absolutely none whatsoever. The Royals are in a league by themselves. We saw it in postseason late last year, and we're seeing it early this year. It's very special, and it saves runs for starting pitching.
And as good as the Royals were last year, many thought they were the best in baseball. They are on pace to shatter statistically what they did last year.
It doesn't matter who's making the play because it's all around the diamond. You got Moose, you got Haas, 3 Gold Glovers out there with a potential for 4, maybe 5 even. They're very heady. They do not make mistakes, and they react with the best of them and sends woo-hoo all around the cave.
Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. Defensive runs saved is becoming more mainstream. And last year, as good as the Royals were, they had 40 defensive runs saved. Now here we are, still pretty early in the season, and the Royals already have 30 defensive runs saved.
Fantastic. It's exciting. It brings people to the ballpark just to watch them and flip a coin who's going to make the play of the night.
Jason Vargas will have that defense behind him tonight. Vargas has been a much better strike thrower at home than on the road. Why? Joel and Monty will discuss that right after this.
Last week Eric Hosmer, Danny Salazar, 6th inning, and a blast for Haas. Salazar's given up 3 home runs on the year, one of those coming to the Royals' first baseman. Welcome back to the Kauffman Stadium. Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. Let's talk about Jason Vargas. Said they worked on some minor things with him. He had 5 walks last week, but did win. What does that do for a pitcher's confidence?
Well, when you figure out something you're doing wrong, you work on it, and you feel like you've got it corrected, it gives you a tremendous amount of confidence going into a start tonight. So hopefully that's going to be something Jason Vargas will carry into this start, and a guy that has no trouble at all throwing strikes here at Kauffman Stadium. You can see from those numbers, outstanding ratio.
Those are our Toyota League leaders. Phenomenal at home. How come?
Well, I think he loves this ballpark. It's a great ballpark. It's a great place to pitch in. A lot of room in the outfield. We know the Royals defense. We heard a guy talk about how good that defense is. And by the way, Joel, Royals 13-1 when they have an errorless game.
All right, and meanwhile, the Indians defense has struggled this year. So Jason Vargas trying to put the ball in play, let that defense do its work, and try to get another Royals win, something they have done very well to start series.
Absolutely, got to win the first one.
All right, the first of 3 between the Royals and Indians coming up. Ryan and Rex are back with the call next.
High-speed internet. The Uverse revolves around you. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. By your Kansas City Chevy dealers. Visit your Chevy dealer today for great prices on all the new 2015 vehicles. And by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. Nice crowd tonight on a T-shirt Tuesday. Terry Francona in town for 3 games. The Indians come in here stumbling. They have lost 4 consecutive series, and Terry Francona has made some major changes to his batting order to try and get something started. The most notable would be Carlos Santana moving up to the number 2 spot.
That's right, and they also have Nick Swisher in there coming off of that disabled list. So they've struggled against left-handers this year, though. 243 average as a whole. So they're trying to really store up that lineup and shore it up with Santana, one of the best patient hitters there are in that second hole. Brantley, Ryan Rayburn, he's a left-handed hitting specialist, hitting .457 against lefties.
Jason Vargas, his numbers presented by Kia, and he'll be making his 2nd consecutive start against the Indians. Last pitched on a week ago Monday against Cleveland, and had trouble throwing strikes. Vargas in that start walked 5 in 5 innings. That tied a career high. And now 2-0 on Jason Kipnis, who comes into this series as a hot hitter. 273 overall, but in his last 7 games, 393. And he swings at the first good pitch that he sees, and Paulo Orlando squeezes it with 2 hands. 1 down. We talked a lot about the Royals defense at the top of the show. Here are the Royals defensively, presented by Ford. That's an interesting statistic, and it applies more, Hud, with teams that share the catching duties between guys more often than the Royals do. But what is his ERA when Salvador Perez is behind the plate?
Yep, it's a really nice mark. He's a leader, and all the pitchers, all of them, bullpen included, trust him. Vargas 3 pitches. Fastball, curveball, changeup. It's very important against right-handed batters that he pitches inside to set up the other pitches. He's got to be able to throw that fastball for strikes. That's really his bread and butter against righties and lefties. But this year it seems like it's been the left-handed bats who have really hit him for a better average at 389. Righties, Vargas is holding him at 292. But he's given up a lot of hits, and a 313 average against. Pitching to contact is his mojo. He's got to be able to do that. Doesn't have the power on the fastball to blow it by guys.
Takes a changeup to make it 2 balls, 2 strikes. To your point, Hub, in Vargas's career, he's usually been pretty balanced against righties and lefties, but had a lot of trouble with the left-hand batters this year, and to that end, Terry Francona hasn't shied away from putting his left-hand bats in there. So there you go. In his career, 260 against lefties, but this year, as you pointed out, 389.
Yep. That's early in the season. It's like a hitter who doesn't get off to the best start. Pitchers the same way. He's got time to bring that ERA down.
And Santana, the patient hitter that Hud was talking about, he'll take a walk. That's his 23rd walk of the year, and that leads the American League. And now Michael Brantley. Brantley batting third and playing in center field. Part of the shakeup for Terry Francona was to take Michael Bourne, their regular center fielder and leadoff man, and for now he's going to be sitting against left-hand pitching, and Brantley will shift back over to center field.
And that's what managers do when you don't perform. It's a performance-based business. You got to be able to hit both pitchers, left-handed or right-handed. Brantley hitting .333 with 1 homer against lefties.
One and one to Brantley. When we were in Cleveland, as Bourne was struggling, the topic came up about how gracefully Michael Brantley handled moving over to left when Michael Bourne came to town, because Michael Brantley is a very good center fielder. That ball needs to hook, and it does a little too late. A 2-run home run for Michael Brantley. So a left-hand batter giving Vargas some trouble in the first inning, and Cleveland leads 2-0.
Brantley's a tough out, no question about it, but you've got to be able to keep that ball down. One of the best hitters in the league. There's a mistake. A fastball, it's right there, and it's not overpowering. And he knows exactly what to do with that. That's the first home run that Vargas has given up to a left-handed bat compared to the 3 to the righties.
Ryan Rayburn with 1 out, nobody on, and a fastball right in there to Rayburn, who plays almost exclusively against left-hand pitchers. And a curveball makes it 0-2.
Rayburn just 3 for 22 against Vargas in his career. You see what he is this season, but all that damage is coming against left-handers, where he's hitting .457. And you know, that's a mindset. You can hit right-handers, but when you get a rap that says you're a platoon player and you're only going to face the lefties, then you're looking for lefties the rest of the week. Looking for the next team. How many lefties do they have? You know, those are your chances. You know you're going to play. And bat cleanup. It's a good move by Francona.
He's only had 5 at-bats against right-handers so far. And Vargas comes back, good changeup, and strikes out Rayburn after the 2-run home run, 2 down.
Great job with the changeup, but again, that fastball sets it up, especially to the righties. That was just a mistake to Brantley.
And now Brandon Moss. I would imagine this stadium brought back some bittersweet feelings when he walked into the visiting clubhouse. Brandon Moss played with the Oakland A's last year, and the sweet part was that he hit 2 home runs in the wild card game and drove in 5 runs, and the bitter is obvious. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to him here this week about his experience. But really, a lot of hitters have, and players like this, have turned the page, but it'll always be there. And when you have that kind of performance, 5 ribbies, 2 homers, you'd think that's enough to win a game.
Well, and looking back on that wild card game, it was the Brandon Moss, his 2nd home run, the one he hit off of Yordano Ventura. That's what turned a 4-3 game into a 7-3 game, with John Lester coming back on the mound after that. But for the Oakland A's, it was not to be. Jammed him. Colon, bare hands. Hosmer helps him out.
Very difficult play. He wanted to catch it on the fly, but he backed off, and boy, that's a do or die, and it worked just perfectly for Vargas. Good focus. Sweet.
farm batting order for the Royals. Still waiting on Alcides Escobar. He is eligible to come off of the 7-day disabled list at some point in this series. The Royals will have to get clearance from Major League Baseball. He was hit by Danny Salazar, who starts tonight. The last time Salazar pitched against the Royals, that was last Wednesday. Salazar 3-0 in 3 starts, including that win against the Royals.
He's got the stuff, and to get beamed by Salazar, wow. I tell you, Escobar is very fortunate. He's only had to do the 7-day concussion, and he is making good recoveries, like you said. Hard fastball. He'll go 96 now. That one at 90. A little bit of a changeup. Changeup, split finger combination. Ball kind of sinks a little bit. Occasional curveballs. A pitch he didn't use at all last year. He's bringing in this season. And he's got a nice slider, and it's a hard one. 94 to 96. It's not easy to pick up. Look for the fastball and drive it.
And Alex beats the shift with 3 infielders on the right side. He had a big series against the Indians last week, and on to begin the bottom of the first. Now, as good as the Royals have been defensively, and they lead the major leagues in defensive runs saved, the Cleveland Indians in that same category are 29th out of 30. They had big problems last year on defense, and that's carried over to this year.
And that's unfortunate. Now they're still going to continue to try to improve, but Brad Mills, their infield instructor, had the tribe out 2-3 weeks before spring training even started, had the infielders out anyway, working on balls and working on stuff, trying to improve.
Mike Moustakas, and becoming the Royals Player of the Month in April, had perhaps his best series in Cleveland. He had 8 hits in the 3-game series. That ball's pulled into the right field corner and just foul.
I'm not sure Moose saw that, because he hit it hard, obviously, and it was going to be close, but he didn't move out of the batter's box. That told me he thought it was going to be foul the whole way, but let's see. Asana picked it up. But it was good wood. He acted like it was going to be foul all the way.
I wonder, and I kind of get the same feeling from our vantage point. I wonder, it looked like a fan caught that with the glove, and I wonder if Moose thought that there was a fan preventing that ball from hitting the foul pole. And now a tapper back to Salazar. He thought about second base, and then a little awkward footwork around the bag by Santana. So Alex goes to second, 1 down. And it wasn't just Mike Moustakas in the Royals series in Cleveland. They took 2 out of 3. I mean, they outplayed the Indians. Much better batting average. Bullpen ERA, not even close. The Indians bullpen really struggled. And then, as we talked about at the top of the show, Royals committed 1 error, no unearned runs. And the Indians 5 errors, which led to 3 unearned runs. And Morales is hit on the foot.
Alex Gordon, he was ready to advance to third base, and heck, he was already at third. And when that ball just bounced around, it tells me he's being heads up. Now this ball's a slider, and it starts way at his feet, and going to catch him on the left toe. Just the second time that Morales has been hit this year. Sometimes pitchers will throw down at hitters' feet just to get them to move their feet without the intent of hitting them. But it's a good ploy because they don't want them to get too comfortable. But Morales, he's comfortable no matter what.
Low to Eric Hosmer. Excellent numbers against Salazar. And more than half of those 6 hits are for extra bases. And now he's ahead in the count 2-0. Salazar pitching him very carefully with those first two, making sure, if anything, to keep the ball down.
Royals doing a nice job so far of hitting with runners in scoring position. They're at .311 average. Hosmer 286. The guy following him, Salvador Perez, 458.
Hit well to left center field.
Yeah.
Hosmer goes deep again off of Salazar and almost cleared the fountains.
Pretty impressive here at the K to go opposite field, way up there into what Hosmer calls the hydration station. Ball is a fastball at 95. He knew he got it underneath it, showing a little oppo-popo. Big power there. Took the ball for a drink 417 feet. Woo! Way to answer.
Now ball 1 to Salvador Perez. That also gives Hosmer 42 career RBIs against the Indians. That's the most for him against any one team in his career. So Hosmer is now 7 for 13 against Salazar with 3 doubles and 2 home runs.
Now you wonder,
1 strike.
You wonder why they try to pitch guys like Hosmer inside, and that's why, because when he gets his arms extended and gets those long arms out there and get the barrel there, that's exactly what happens.
Moss comes up from right field to make the play on Sal. 2 down. And now Omar Infante. .96 over the outside. Omar just 2 out of 13 in the Tigers series. Dropping him down to 247 and put an end to a long hitting streak.
What you don't do with the bat, you make up with the glove. And he turned some nice double plays in that Detroit series. His arm stronger. He feels it's 100% now. Shoulder, elbow. Took him a while to work through it, though. I mean, he had shoulder problems last year towards the end of the season. And then this spring, when he had those spurs in his elbow, I mean, I was thinking, oh no, I mean, you know. And he didn't look good throwing the ball in spring training, did he?
Didn't look good the first couple of weeks of the regular season. Salazar strikes him out, but the Royals come right back. The Indians get 2 in the top of the first inning on a home run. The Royals get 3 in the bottom of the first inning on a home run.
Hydration station. Get the tape out.
Eric Hosmer gives the Royals a 3-2 lead after Michael Brantley hit a 2-run home run in the top of the first inning for Cleveland. Nick Swisher back from the disabled list since the Royals last faced the Indians. 97 games last year. He had problems with both knees, ended up having surgery on both of his knees. That was in August, and when this season began, knees weren't quite ready and had to start the year on the disabled list. Out to Infante, and Swisher's first at bat is a ground ball to second base. Let's go to Joel.
Well, guys, speaking of injury, the Royals getting some good news, expecting Greg Holland to come off the disabled list tomorrow, and we saw him throwing over the weekend. University of Kansas Hospital injury report, that 25 simulated inning Saturday went very well. Ned Yost and company saying that they expect Holland to come off the DL tomorrow, so they'll need to make a move and send somebody out to make room for him. But the timing of this also may work out very well, guys, because Kelvin Herrera had his hearing with the league yesterday, his appeal. They could receive news on that as early as tomorrow. Ned Yost saying, hoping that they're able to get a game or two dropped off of that suspension.
Also gives Chris Young another day to recover after his start. And Ned would feel more comfortable about going to Chris Young if he needed a long outing from a reliever. 1-2 on Mike Aviles. Mike Aviles playing as shortstop. Jose Ramirez was playing at short, and the Royals were in Cleveland. Ramirez struggling at the plate. Kind of a delayed call, and Aviles doesn't appreciate that. Phil Cuzzy rings him up, and Vargas has his second strikeout.
Exactly where Vargas wants to live tonight against the righties. Fastballs in, borderline. Hey, look, Salvador presented it well. Aviles tried to give a little body language to the home plate umpire, and didn't work this time.
Lonnie Chisenhall with 2 down, nobody on. Chisenhall off to a slow start, like several Indians hitters so far. The Indians as a team are hitting just .248.
Fastball inside to lefties works just the same as to righties, except he doesn't follow up the lefties with the changeup. He will throw it a breaking ball to the lefties after coming inside.
Still 1-2. Don't you forget to vote for the Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com. You'll be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House. Hosmer has 2 home runs on this homestand. Now, I wouldn't call his home run to center field, but if you go by that graph, it was within that gold triangle.
That last one was right on the line.
Right on the border of, it would be more accurate to be left center field, but I guess it would go down to more of the center of the diamond.
I'm not surprised by seeing that. watching Hosmer take batting practice every day, not all the time, but I get out there a lot. He stays, he tries to center up the ball, keep his hands inside. Rarely does he try to hook balls to right field from the pull side. He's staying inside, and he's trying to drive the ball always to the opposite field at center field. Tester.
Vargas is there. That away. Hey, and give Mike Moustakas some credit. Didn't call him off. Let him make the catch. Very unselfish. Join us for a salute to the Negro Leagues brunch prior to the Royals game on Sunday, May 17th. And for just $25, the brunch voucher will get you access to an exclusive event complete with live jazz, a full brunch buffet, a custom pair of Monarchs and Royals socks, and a $5 donation is made to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. We do want you to keep in mind that the voucher does not grant you access to the game. Visit Royals.com/NLBM to reserve your spot today. One and one on Paulo Orlando. Orlando, Dyson, and Colon coming up against Salazar. Hit hard and past Chisenhall. Rayburn cuts it off, and that holds Orlando to a long single.
Setting up a way. See how that ball drifted in? Good hitters don't miss those mistakes inside. You got to be quick, though, with Salazar's velocity. And he was. I think he made the right decision by staying, although with his speed it would have been really close at second base, but Rayburn put off a nice throw on it.
Mason wanting to bunt, and Salazar pitches him down and in.
It's not the ideal type of pitcher you want to try to bunt on, because that hard fastball is very difficult to get down on the ground. Chisenhall in, breathing down his neck.
Down and in again. Royals will be without Lorenzo Cain for one more game. Lorenzo dropping his appeal to a suspension, so he missed the game on Sunday and not available tonight. So Ned Yost has a two-man bench. He has Orlando Calixte, an infielder who can play the outfield, and Eric Kratz on the bench, and that's it. Now 3-0 on Dyson. Salazar had a shaky beginning to his last start against the Royals and then pulled it together in the later innings. 3-1. Gave up 4 runs in 6 innings and struck out 7. Dyson gets the bunt down. Tough play. Out at first base, and the Royals immediately go to the phone. We'll check in with Bill Duplessis in the Royals clubhouse.
Excellent touch on that bunt. Santana, the first baseman, wasn't sure till last minute. He comes in there, and Kipnis, boy, he saved the day and just barely got him. Nice sacrifice bunt, almost turned it into a knock with those wheels.
And I think Dyson's reaction gave it away too. There was no argument from him or from Rusty Kuntz. So Will Little, the umpire at first, was right. It goes down as a sacrifice and gets Orlando to second base. A big rip by Christian Colon. Colon has an 8-game hitting streak, so he's made the most of filling in for Alcides Escobar at shortstop. That's grounded just foul. 0-2.
Salazar, he's changing speeds, making it a little bit more difficult, but check out Colon, how steady he is. This play here, it was interesting to see how he played it. Last minute he backed off. I could tell when that ball was hit, it had a parachute on it. So do you go for the catch or do you back off? I didn't think he would barehanded because that's a do or die play. Excellent job. This guy, you can trust him anywhere in that infield.
Salazar checks Orlando, makes sure he goes back to second base, and throws out Colon. 2 down. So a good read by Paulo Orlando. Keeps him in scoring position for Alex Gordon. Alex led off the first inning with a single, and he and Kendrys Morales scored on the 3-run home run by Eric Hosmer. Good breaking ball down and in. No balls, 1 strike.
Danny Salazar coming into this game, 28 strikeouts and 19 innings pitched this year. That's pretty strong. So far in this one, he hasn't whiffed but only 1, and that was Omar Infante back in the first.
And 2. Salvador Perez caught that ball with 2 bare hands.
Alex, a .320 hitter coming into this game with a runner in scoring position.
Salazar strikes him out, so the Royals strand Orlando at second base. And at the end of 2, the Royals lead the Indians 3-2. And it's student night. They're celebrating Cinco de Mayo tonight, but student night tomorrow, presented by Inc. Magazine. And a lot of great deals for students, beginning with $8 tickets. Strike to Roberto Perez. Food and drink specials for students only in the outfield experience. Live music from local Kansas City bands, and tomorrow music from Gracie Schramm. 0-2 on Roberto Perez, who does not get cheated when he unloads his swing.
He knows his time is limited once Yan Gomes comes back, and that might be a while, though. As they listening to Terry Francona talk to the media today, said they haven't even discussed a rehab assignment yet. Yan Gomes is a big offensive player for them, as well as a solid catcher with a strong arm.
2-2. He has a knee injury, and I mean, catchers' knees are going to hurt and take a beating, and even when they are so-called healthy, let alone having a bad knee and going in and out of a crouch 100 to 200 times a night. Good changeup by Vargas. He has struck out 3, and now he has retired 6 in a row since the Brantley home run.
Nice breaking ball down low. Jeff Montgomery and I talked with Dave Island today before the game, out there standing by the batting cages. Said he's been making some adjustments with Vargas. Not a lot, you know, with a veteran guy like him, you're not going to really make a lot of adjustments, but there's been a few that we'll talk about when Dr. Montgomery comes on with us here another inning. But it's working so far, especially when he got that lead. Now he's saying, all right, it's my turn to hold the guys right there, keep the tribe down until we can score some more. But Dave Island did say he expects Vargas to be good tonight. What he means by that is keeping the guys off balance, using his defense.
1-2 on Kipnis. He flied out to Orlando in right field in the first inning. Paulo Orlando, that is, not the city. That'd be a heck of a flyout, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
A little bit outside. Off speed again, and now Vargas has struck out 4 and set down 7 in a row.
That's right. Ever since they got him that lead, Hosmer's 3-run homer, he knows exactly what to do. Shut the opponents down 1, 2, 3 the next inning and try to do it again.
He has now struck out 3 of the last 4 Indians. He has 1 walk, and that was to Carlos Santana. And on one hand, there's really no shame in that. Santana leads the league in walks, and he led the league in walks last year. 113. 0-2.
When you gain that type of reputation in the league, umpires, they all notice too. They understand, and sometimes as an umpire, if Santana takes a pitch, he'll say, well, it must have been a ball if he took it.
One and two. Orlando toward the corner to make the play. So Vargas allowed the home run to Brantley in the first inning, and since then he has knocked down 8 consecutive Indians. 3-2 Royals on a gorgeous night at Kauffman Stadium. has touched the lives of many Kansas Cityans throughout her 40-year nursing career, both clinically and as a national nurse coordinator for Teva Pharmaceuticals Shared Solutions. In her spare time, Yvonne volunteers for Angel Care and Matthews Ministry, helping provide assistance to special needs children, and she's sitting in the Buck O'Neil legacy seat at tonight's game, enjoying a Royals 3-2 lead. Mike Moustakas, Kendrys Morales, and Eric Hosmer. Moustakas came very close to hitting a 2-run home run in the first inning. Hit it just inside the right field foul pole, or just outside the right field foul pole, and then grounded back to Salazar. But 2 batters later, Eric Hosmer hit a 3-run home run. No swing, according to Tony Randazzo. 2-1. Last year, Moustakas had 6 of his 15 home runs against the Cleveland Indians. This one was the most interesting. Not quite sure this went down as a home run, but he did circle the bases.
I remember that.
Little League home run.
It was, and the crowd here loved it. Moose is extremely confident, even without a guy that throws it like that. Now Rayburn, he'll tell you, look, that was just a mistake. And, you know, it happens. That's a long run.
And he had to go chase that ball down, didn't he? Brantley makes a play.
Yeah, I believe he did. Ramirez, the shortstop, couldn't quite get to it, but he did have to chase his own bad throw out.
One down to Kendrys Morales, hit by a pitch and scored on the Hosmer home run in the first inning. 9 Royals on the American League All-Star ballot. How about Kendrys Morales, 5th in the league in RBIs. Leads the Royals in that category, and he's been hot lately. He has 10 RBIs in his last 6 games. 2 balls and no strikes. Among American League designated hitters, of course, not to be confused with National League designated hitters.
That might catch somebody.
Well, okay. I guess in interleague play you have a National League DH, but leading DHs period in several categories. 2-2. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. You've seen a lot more of him than I have, and what's just so remarkable to me is his hand-eye coordination. I mean, he swings at everything, almost everything.
He does. He's very gifted. Of course, you know, when you play baseball in Cuba and you're one of their best hitters at the age of 13, I mean, he's seen his share of pitching. He's a professional hitter. He knows exactly what to do, and he's grown up and got stronger. Now he's incorporated the power into his game. But the one thing that surprised Dale Swaim, his hitting coach, the most so far this season is the fact that he's being selective, and he does have 7 walks. And he didn't think that he would have 7 in the whole first half of the season, because he can hit the fastball, there's no doubt about it. But those little breaking balls and things with down in the count like this, or it's an even count now, 3-2. he's been swinging a lot of those, but plate discipline's important for him.
Salazar strikes him out with a hard slider, and that is his third strikeout. 2 down, and that brings up Eric Hosmer, who has great numbers against Salazar. He homered against Salazar the last time the Royals faced the Indians, and now our T-Mobile game changer. Hosmer, with his 3-run home run in the first inning tonight, now has an extra base hit in 6 of his last 7 games, which includes 3 home runs.
You know, oh, I'm sorry, Ryan, go ahead.
He has 7 career hits against Salazar, and 5 of those are extra base hits. Aren't you glad you waited? I mean, that's fascinating information.
No, look, I don't want to step on your partner. What's impressed me the most about Hosmer is his front foot, his leading foot. Last year he charged out to the mound a whole foot or 2. He would stride out there, and that pulled his hands and his head. He's just lifting it up to this year. Watch this foot here. Okay, he's just lifting it. Look at, he's got a flamingo kick. He's going to load the hips. You got to have the hips, and then he just steps it down. But look at how perfectly balanced he is with that swing and his follow through. And the fact that he's being selective. Hosmer leads the Royals with 13 walks.
You know, that's almost to the level of Mike Moustakas' ability to hit the ball the other way. Just the enormous adjustment in a short period of time. Right?
Yeah, he's a totally different hitter this year. Last year, he knew he was striding long. And he knew that he was doing it, but he just couldn't help it. Sometimes it's hard when you get up there in that box game situation. That guy's coming at you. You get over anxious a little bit. But now he's being selective. He's not swinging at a lot of pitches, and I think that's because he's had Morales and Salvador tonight hitting behind him.
Down on strikes, no argument. Salazar retires the Royals in order with a couple of strikeouts. 3-2 KC.
Have really been struggling this year, and this did not make things any better. Hanley Ramirez crashing into the wall left the game with a shoulder injury, and they ended up losing the game also. But good news for them today, they find out that it's just a mild sprain of the left shoulder, so not expecting it to be anything long term. But I found it interesting, guys. I mean, they're 5 games out of first place, and already seeing some of the people saying this season is going to be a bad one for the Red Sox. Want to wish a happy birthday to 94-year-old Betty Thomas, who is here with her family tonight. Hasn't been to a Royals game in more than 20 years. Her son's a season ticket holder. She watches on TV. So happy 94 to Betty.
And happy 43rd birthday to you, Joel.
Did I catch you again?
No, and you never will.
I'm one behind.
Happy birthday to Joel and our associate producer Sam Abramson, who not only have the same birthday, they were born on the exact same day, May 5th, 1972. So happy birthday, Joel and Sammy.
And I think that he will always have me too by a handful of hours.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Joel, we don't know where you are in the ballpark, but if you're anywhere close, we'd like for you to come to the booth.
All right, please.
Paging Joel Goldberg. Michael Brantley hit a 2-run home run in the first inning. So Vargas and the Royals were down 2-0, just 3 batters into the game. But since then, Vargas has set down 8 Indians hitters in a row. And then in the bottom of the first inning, Eric Hosmer hit a 3-run home run. There he is.
Joel,
happy birthday.
Yeah, we just wanted to let you know that we had a little special cake for you, and
I don't have to wear this, right? Just a Gatorade shower later.
No, but you know, we weren't exactly sure what flavor to get you, so when Ryan and I met at the place today, we
thought a lot about it.
Yeah.
Why don't we just see if Joe can guess?
And if you do recognize it, I want you to explain the significance of the flavor that we got. That's the hard part. I think you'll recognize it, but why do we pick that flavor?
I was thinking Rex made
you have to smell it.
How else are you going to be able to look at it?
Come on, Joel.
Come on. Now that's just the icing.
I have no idea. Baseball game going on here.
Anyway, Joel, happy birthday.
Thank you. All right, Ryan, I'll dig in and see if I can figure it out.
Right.
Okay, this deep symbolism of this very meaningful 43rd birthday.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you. And to Sammy.
We tried, Hud. Didn't work out.
Darn it. You know what? He probably knows. Bonnie knows. All ball players know.
Hi, Monty.
How you doing?
How are you?
I come in for a little birthday celebration with my partner.
Monty, in all the years in the clubhouses you went, we got a man there.
Dyson makes the play on the line drive by Ryan Rayburn. So one down. Whenever
there was a present or somebody had a birthday, we'd always buy a cake and we'd set it in the middle of the locker room or on the table, and usually it was a rookie, and we would say, what would we say?
What kind of cake is that? When you smell
what do you
it?
Think? Smell it and see, and then they'd reach down. We tried to get Joel on it. They'd reach down, and then we'd just go bam and slam it right into the cake.
Right.
Joel did not fall for that.
Joel, I think he's been around a lot.
Well, to make us feel a little bit better, even though our scheme didn't work, hopefully the rest of the night he's going to be racking his brain as to the significance of the flavor of the cake. Of course, there is none, but he didn't fall for what we wanted him to fall for. Oh, well.
That's a good try, Rhino. That would have been good live TV right there.
Absolutely.
Monty Vargas seems to be dissecting and hitting his corners now. After that 3-run home run got him the lead.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people were ready to give up on him after that first inning, but it looks like he's battled himself back into this thing.
Dyson jogs in and makes the play. 2 down.
Guys, really nice to see him really bounce back. And talking about working that glove side, and here you're going to see a perfect example of Jason Vargas getting that ball to the right-hand side of the plate against the right-hander, locking up Mike Aviles. That's one of the signs that he's maybe got things working. And then he's got the breaking ball working to that side of the plate, too. So good to see him making those adjustments. I know, heard you talk about, you and I had an opportunity to visit with Dave Island today, and one key for him is being on line with the plate and not stepping too much across his body.
Nick Swisher grounded to second, first time up, his first at bat of the year.
And what Dave was explaining was Vargas would step with his right foot, his lead foot, over towards the Royals dugout, and he's throwing across his body, and he didn't quite have the command of that fastball on the glove side like he'd been wanting him to.
Right, and it makes it more difficult when you're throwing across your body to get that arm through and finish on the right side, like we saw when he locked up Mike Aviles with that fastball.
Pitching is a lot like hitting. The object is to get one or the other off balance, and you have to make adjustments. Hitters making adjustments all the time, and so do pitchers.
Right, and talking about making adjustments, he worked on it between starts, and I think he felt more confident about his work, and hopefully he carries it into this game.
Out to Colon. He flips to Infante, and that's the inning. So Vargas has retired 10 of the last 11 Indians hitters. Bread. Avoid the lines. Order online with rapid pickup at delivery.panerabread.com. By Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Thoroughbred Ford. For great deals on all new Ford cars and trucks, visit thoroughbredford.com. Nice crowd on a Tuesday night. Royals are playing well, coming off a great year, and not to be discounted at all, the weather has not hurt the Royals at all at home. So a good night to be outside for early May. It's also a T-shirt Tuesday. The Royals haven't had a crowd at home yet this year, under 20,000. 2-1 on Salvador Perez.
Isn't that great, Monty, huh? Seeing a blue crowd like this, man, I'm gonna tell you, they're excited too.
It's been a while since we've seen April crowds consistently like this here in Kansas City.
Two and two. And if you think it's too late to be out here on a more regular basis in regard to season tickets, well, you are wrong. You can still secure season tickets in lower level sections like the dugout box or dugout plaza with a prorated half or full season package. So give the Royals a call or go online for more information on becoming a season ticket member at royals.com/season tickets. Or 816-504-4040, option 2. There's that split change and 5 strikeouts for Danny Salazar, and Salvador Perez is 0 for 2.
Salazar does a nice job in disguising his pitch. You see the grip where he's got that split grip, and it appears to be a fastball at the last minute. Just has great velocity, upper 80s velocity, but then it just bottoms out. Almost impossible to hit if he's commanding it.
Yep, one of the things that gave Mickey Callaway, the third-year pitching coach for the Cleveland Indians, some trouble when it came to Salazar. Salazar, he's a Verlander fan. He loves Verlander, and he watched Verlander, how he was able to throw 92, 93, and then later in the game turn it up to 98. You know, and Salazar tried to do the same thing, but Mickey Callaway said, hey, look, you're not quite there yet. You're not in Verlander's league. Why don't you go out from the very start and just start, you know, go pedal to the metal. Start your 96, 97, 98 mile an hour fastballs and just go with it. You know, you got to get established first.
And he's really doing that since he came back from the minor leagues last summer. You know, he's really turned things around. He's much more aggressive. I think he believes in his stuff a lot more. And I would say if you put a bat in his hand and had him hit against himself, he would understand how good he is.
That's the pitch there he's been incorporating this year, the curveball.
And that curveball struck out Infante first time up. This time it's that split change again. So 6 strikeouts for Salazar against no walks. 2 down in the 4th inning.
Again, this pitch just bottoms out. Looks like a nice fastball outside part of the plate. Put on a parachute. Velocity is down and evaporates.
It's the location that's as good as any of it. I mean, the change of speeds was going to fool the hitter, but man, if he takes it, that's perfectly located for a strike.
Paulo Orlando got around on a fastball that was in on him and singled up the left field line in the 2nd inning.
He's starting to pull that ball with a little more authority. He did against Sanchez in his last time out there.
Kipnis throws him out. And now Salazar on a roll just like Vargas. He's retired the last 9. Watch. That was coming into tonight. Eric Hosmer has hit a 3-run home run. Jason Kipnis is 0 for 2 so far. Jose Altuve was hitting .360 when his game began, and Nelson Cruz with 14 home runs, 26 RBIs leads the majors. You can play for free at DraftKings.com. Don't forget to enter the promo code BRoyal. Jason Vargas has retired 11 of the last 12. Danny Salazar the last 9. Mike Aviles reaching and hits a lazy fly ball to right field. Orlando takes care of that. 1 down in the 5th.
Yeah, the only hit that Vargas gave up was the 2-run bomb. So he's been doing a great job since then, Monty, staying underneath bats.
Yeah, and that's going to be a key for him. And it just seems like he's pitching much more confidently since that first inning. I know he made the adjustment. Sometimes it takes an inning or two to get those things to really come into play for you once you get on the mound. But it seems like he's now got that, that mechanics down and the stride toward home plate much better.
Chisenhall popped up back to Vargas. Did you ever get upset when you had a easy play on a pop-up and some infielder would run a mile just to make you move 5 feet so he could catch it?
Well, the one I remember most, I was fielding a bunt as a first and second, a bunt situation, and a bunt was up in the air right exactly to me, and I'm going to field the bunt easily for an out, and Mike McFarland comes out and just barrels over me. He was calling me off, but in Fenway Park, 40,000, whatever they have going at you, you can't hear a word. And Mac just knocked me down. He caught the ball, fortunately, so it wasn't harmful. But no one gives any of the pitchers any credit.
I give Mike Moustakas some credit here. He could have come in and made that play, but he knows Vargas is a professional athlete. And see, by allowing him to catch it, Vargas, kind of like out of that old commercial with Mean Joe Green and the little kid, Vargas says, "Hey, here you go, kid. Thank you for letting me catch that pop-up."
I always dreamed of catching a line drive and sticking it in my back pocket and running off the field. Had it all the way.
One and one on Roberto Perez.
We don't have to go back to the archives of a couple years ago in New York, do we, with that?
That Pedro Feliciano?
That was the greatest ever. That was, I mean.
Now, I get it if there's a pop-up in between the mound and first, and the pitcher has to come down the mound. No, but when it's hit right back to the pitcher, and he's standing there waiting for it, and some infielder comes screaming from a corner, and the pitcher takes one step back so this other guy can come tripping over the mound and make a catch. I've never understood that.
Well, they just don't want the pitcher involved on any play that an infielder is trained and paid to do. Those guys are all, that's what they're paid for, and so they don't necessarily pay the pitchers to catch pop-ups.
Oh. Vargas has retired 13 of the last 14. On Sam Abramson's 43rd birthday, HUD, you asked for it, you got it.
Watch this, folks.
Sam Abramson. You hear that name all the time. And that is our replay video technical aficionado. That's a fair ball. And that is an easy triple for Jarrod Dyson.
Fans haven't had anything to cheer about since the first inning of the 3-run bomb, and here's Dyson. First pitch he sees. Stayed on top of it. Hugged the line down the right field side. He knows automatically that's a 3-base hit. Look at him go.
It's called off to the races.
Better believe that.
Salazar retired 9 in a row. Corners in, middle of the infield is back as Colon takes a strike. Chris grounded back to Salazar in the second inning.
So Colon knows this is a situation here where you kind of look around, see where the infielders are playing you with nobody out. You don't want to hit to the corners if you can. Stay up the middle. Any kind of ground ball, fly ball that direction will have a higher percentage of getting that run home.
One ball, 2 strikes. Fastball riding down and in on Colon at 96. What Salazar needs here is a strikeout. He has struck out 6. And at one point tonight struck out 4 in a row. Grounded to third. Dyson has to hold as Chisenhall throws out Colon, 1 down.
So anybody that's interested wants to know who has the best triple time from home to third base. We'll give it to you in just a minute.
Paulo Orlando, by the way, has 5 of those 7 triples.
And we timed him. We timed Paulo Orlando, I think, at 3 of those, or 4 of them. Not mistaken. Now that's Jarrod's first one here at the K this year. So the best time we got for Paulo Orlando was 10 flat on contact to reaching third base. Dyson right there was 11, and 2 others of Paulo were 11.
Ground ball, base hit right field. Well, Dyson makes it a 4-2 game, and that's 5 RBIs this year for Alex Gordon against the Indians.
Royals got to be able to score that run. Lead-off triple, got to find a way. Alex does again, getting another single right by the pulled over shifting defense. I believe Dyson can do better than 11 seconds on a triple. But keep in mind that Paulo Orlando, he starts from the right side of the plate. He's in the right-handed batter's box, and Dyson's on the left side. So really, Dyson has a little half a step advantage, maybe more.
I'd say that'd be step and a half, wouldn't it? I mean, if you're going from the just stepping from the right-hand box to the left-hand box is going to be a step and a half.
You would think.
Right over the outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Last year, Moose was really pressing, and when he got 2 strikes on him, he was almost an out. This year, Moose is hitting .326 with 2 strikes.
And the Indians somehow get an out at second base. So a team not known for its defense comes up with a gem there. Aviles with the dive and threw a strike to Kipnis to get the force on Gordon.
Moose had another base hit right here. Excellent play. Aviles robbed him. But it's that 2-strike approach that has Moustakas hitting .326 coming in with 2 strikes. That mark, by the way, is 5th best in the American League. Nice play. 2-strike approach going to the opposite field.
And it's not just the Moustakas, but it's the Royals. Royals as a team have the best batting average in the major leagues with 2 strikes. .214, which doesn't sound like a lot, but the major league average is .172. Now Aviles over on the right side of second base makes the play to get Kendrys Morales. Gerard Dyson opens the inning with his first triple of the year. Alex Gordon drives him home, and the Royals lead is 2 runs. This homestand will wrap up with 2 more games with the Indians tomorrow and Thursday afternoon. Then the Royals' next homestand features the New York Yankees starting on Friday, May 15th. This weekend series includes Buck Night and summer fireworks on Friday, the Royals tote bag giveaway on Saturday, and a Monarchs newsboy hat on Sunday. It's the only time the Yankees will be at Kauffman Stadium this year, so get your tickets now at Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS. Alex Gordon back in left field, and that ball sails over his head. Jason Kipnis is 1 for 3. He has a leadoff double.
This ball was driven well. Fastball right down the middle. Okay, Vargas has been hitting the corners and staying out of the middle until that pitch right there, and there's nothing Alex could do. Got a good turn on it. Took the perfect route, just like we're used to seeing. Can't make all the catches.
I think that bat came off of Kipnis' bat much louder than what Alex Sauter did too.
Vargas had retired 14 of 15 for that double. The only man who reached in that stretch was Brantley with a walk. That's the Indians' first hit since the first inning. Now Carlos Santana takes a curveball outside. Santana added to his league lead in walks with his 23rd in the first inning, and then he scored on the Brantley home run. He's also flied to right. Two and 0.
Santana, he's a cleanup hitter, but he's batting second now, kind of like Moose. Moose had to alter his hitting style, not worry about the power so much as he can move the runners, but you can't ask Santana to hit that ball to right field. You can't take this guy's power from him in that second hole. And I don't think Francona's trying to do that. Reason he's hitting second in the Tribe order, and I think they're going to leave him there, is because of his plate discipline and the fact that he walks a lot. But this here situation is a perfect situation where you can't ask him to move the runner.
Got a couple pretty good guys hitting behind him too.
That's right.
Swinging 3-0.
Thank you.
Mustakas throws him out. That was a gift.
Guys, one thing I think is interesting with Vargas is seems like he has had better success early in the games. And here we see the graphic, first time through the lineup, only 152. Now we're going through here this third time through the lineup. So important for Jason Vargas to improve on these numbers on the second and third time through.
Now, Monty, it's different for every pitcher, but if you didn't know anything about Jason Vargas and you just saw those numbers, what would your assumption be? What would your judgment be about a pitcher whose opponent's batting average goes up every time he goes to the order another time?
I don't think that's indicative of his entire career. I think it's really more the season. I think maybe his stuff just hasn't been as crisp. His command hasn't been as good as it has been earlier in his career.
And now Moustakas handles Michael Brantley on a pop-up, and boy, is this inning turned around. A leadoff double, a ground out to third on a 3-0 pitch, and now a foul out to third.
You could tell Moose was going to do anything he could to catch that ball for Vargas. He's checking the ground. He's looking all around. Where's the wall? I don't care if I got to climb it. It's a big out to get a hitter like Brantley out on a foul ball. We've seen Moose go over rails before to get balls too. Now he's got that in him, except the K here, past the dugout suites, the walls are a little high. It's hard to go up and jump up in there in the stands. Kind of like what Alex did in Chicago a week or so ago.
And now ground ball out to Colon. Nice turnaround for Vargas. Leadoff double. Then retires the next three. Well, maybe he can't go over the railing into the crowd, but he can go over the railing into the dugout suite.
Better believe that. How about making the bobblehead out of that?
good night overall for Jason Vargas. 3 batters into the game. He was down 2-0 after Michael Brantley homered, and now he's retired 17 of the last 19. And thanks to Eric Hosmer's 3-run home run in the bottom of the first and Alex Gordon's RBI single, Vargas has a 2-run lead. Danny Salazar, and he hasn't had a long career, but still, he has only allowed 7 home runs to left-hand batters. He is one of those right-handers that's better against lefties than he is righties. And Hosmer, who is homered tonight, now trying to bunt his way on. He's only allowed 7 home runs to left-hand batters, and Eric Hosmer has 2 of them. Hosmer is the only left-hand batter that has gone deep against Salazar more than once. Now Salazar, since the home run, has come back to strike him out twice, and that is 7 strikeouts for Salazar. 1 down in the 6th inning. Let's go to Joel.
Well, Ryan had a chance to talk to Yordano Ventura today, and of course he'll be back on Friday from that suspension. But I was talking to him a little bit about Danny Salazar, wondering if maybe he knew him at all from back at home in the Dominican Republic. 2 hard-throwing young right-handers. And he said no, he didn't grow up around him, maybe sees him a little bit here and there in the offseason, but that he first met him in 2011. They were facing each other's teams in A-ball in the Midwest League. Kane County for Yordano, Lake County for Salazar, and he said very impressed obviously with what this guy can do and the way he can get it up there with the speed, the velocity. And I said, what is it with, you know, so many great Dominican pitchers that can light up the radar gun? Kelvin Herrera was earlier saying, I don't know, maybe it's the weather, with a smile on his face. But Yordano had an interesting thought. He said so many guys like him and Salazar grow up near the ocean, the beach, the mountains, and they're running on the beach. They're swimming in the ocean, just staying in great shape in that good weather, of course, too. And it's just a way to really build up that strength, and they do that throughout their childhoods.
You agree with that, Monty?
Well, something works for those guys.
Yeah, I mean, but the you know, the swimming part of it, you know, just the strengthening of the shoulder and the ligaments. Now, Jeremy Guthrie said at FanFest that if that were true, then Michael Phelps would throw 200 miles an hour.
There's a lot of similarities in those motions as far as pitching and swimming, especially overhand.
Better believe it, man.
Especially at a younger age, right? I mean, you're developing strength in the shoulder without the wear and tear on the shoulder of throwing a baseball.
Right, elongating those muscles to strong and loose.
Hey, who knows? Maybe Michael Phelps can throw 200 miles an hour. Santana gets in between Rusty Kuntz and Will Little. 2 down in the 6th inning. So Omar Infante trying to help out Mike Pope from KCMO. A home run in our Sonic Slam inning is worth $500. A grand slam out of the park, and Mike Pope will win $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Omar is without a home run so far this year. One and one. That's a pitcher that's given Omar a bad time. 2 strikeouts tonight. And now Omar is 1 for 14 against Danny Salazar. And that's the pitch right there. He's swinging like he's convinced it's a fastball.
It's got to look like one. It's one interesting comparison. Last time that Salazar pitched against the Royals, it was against Yordano Ventura, and I heard later Pedro Martinez. So a lot of times people compared Yordano to Pedro. They had Pedro on talking, and he said, between Salazar and Ventura, which one is more like you? And he said Salazar.
Chisenhall, low throw, handled by Santana. 3 up, 3 down for the Royals in the 6th. 4-2 Royals to the 7th inning. And that's Ryan Madson taking over for Jason Vargas. Vargas only gave up 2 hits in 6 innings. He had 82 pitches, and Ned Yost turns it over to Madson, who gets Brandon Moss to pull it foul. Last time Ryan Madson pitched, had a very interesting situation here at Kauffman Stadium. 1-1 on Moss. Chris Young, in a spot start, pitched 5 hitless innings. Ryan Madson came on and pitched the 6th and 7th innings without allowing a hit, and the Royals took a combined no-hitter into the 8th inning. Tigers got their first hit. Here's Chris Young back out in the bullpen, and then all of a sudden the game was on the line. Kelvin Herrera had that great matchup with Miguel Cabrera.
Epic battle.
Three and one.
I know our partner Steve Physiok, he always moans and groans about never having a chance to call a no-hitter.
Or see one.
Right.
You've never seen one. Crack bat. Madsen to the bag in front of Moss. 1 down. Now some broadcasters subscribe to not saying the actual words no hitter, because in somehow that will jinx the pitcher. I can tell you that the guy on the left does not subscribe to that, and he's only been doing this for 47 years. And apparently Fizz does not subscribe to that because he brought that up. I started mentioning no hitter in the 7th inning, and they didn't get a hit till the 8th inning.
I think it's probably better you just don't say it around the pitcher. The guys that are on the mound going out there between innings, don't mention the fact, hey, you haven't given up a hit yet. I'm sure they know, but.
Oh, and 2 on Nick Swisher. Did you play with Terry Mulholland?
No.
Okay.
Played against him, and my baseball bats have never been the same.
I heard a great story about Terry Mulholland. I believe he threw a no-hitter with the Phillies. Maybe somebody could look that up. Okay, Joe Lavero, a Phillies fan, remembers that. Joe Lavero was there. Wow. Well, Joe, you probably heard the story that, when a guy's pitching a gem, everybody stays away from him in the dugout. They don't want to disrupt the so-called zone. Well, apparently they had a bat boy, a newer bat boy with the Phillies. And he was old enough to recognize that Terry Mulholland was pitching a heck of a game. 2-2 on Swisher. So while all of his teammates are steering clear of Mulholland, and they remember showing the shot of the dugout, I mean, half the dugout is reserved for Terry Mulholland, the other half is for the rest of the teammates. And this poor bat boy, who's just thrilled to be watching this, in the 8th inning goes and sits down next to Terry Mulholland and says, hey, do you know you're pitching a no-hitter? Oh, wow. Swisher down on strikes, 2 down. And of course, everyone in the dugout has their head turned, wondering if Terry Mulholland is going to take this kid and throw him in the Gatorade jug. Well, Mulholland went on to finish the no-hitter, and afterwards said, you know what, my teammates were cringing at what the bat boy did, but you know what, he made me laugh, and I was able to relax those last 2 innings. It just kind of took
I've never heard that.
It took the edge off. It took the pressure off, and I thought, you know what, that's what a lot of kids in the stands are thinking right now, that I got a chance to pitch a no-hitter.
That's a great story.
But for all you kids listening at home tonight, if you ever become a Royals bat boy, don't ever do that. Mike Aviles has struck out, fly to right. He's also made a very good defensive play at shortstop. 2-1.
Nick Swisher, he walked away from home plate, did a double take at Madsen and went, wow, okay. That's a nasty pitch, that changeup. Starts him out with a fastball, 92 to 94. Finishes him with a changeup. Righty or lefty, it doesn't matter. There it is. There's another one. Oops. No, that one had a little more movement. That was a two-seamer that had that kind of changeup life to it, Bonnie.
Well, he's one of those tall righties that gets that great life, that great downward plane when he gets on top of the ball, and it appears to be almost like a changeup that has 94 velocity.
All right, let's see if the same kind of movement from this pitch. There was the changeup. Less about 10 mile an hour.
Colon to the middle and gets Avila. So Ryan Madsen is very Ryan Madsen-like again. Stretch time at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals lead the Indians 4-2.
The Royal family. Panera takes us around the league as the Royals lead 4-2. White Sox leading Detroit. Oakland behind Jesse Chavez. Yankees 6-1. And Boston shutting out Tampa earlier. Brian, I have this question for you. If Denny Matthews is called 4 no-hitters, I assume that's right.
For the Royals.
For the Royals, not to mention those against. I don't know if he was at the John Lester game in 2008 against the Royals. I'm assuming he said no-hitter those days, right?
Absolutely.
So either there should have been a lot more, and it's his fault for saying it so much,
right.
Or the jinx just isn't working.
Right. Well, the flip side of that is, especially if you're doing the game on radio, on TV, we can show you the line score and you can figure it out on your own. But if you're listening to the game on radio and you just happen to tune in the 7th or the 8th inning and the announcer is not saying no hitter, and it's a 7 or 8-0 game, you might just turn okay, well, this game's over, and you'd go on to something else. So
I want to know.
You got to alert the listener. That's where I. Now you can always show the line and say they haven't touched him yet.
Santana kept his leg on the bag, foot on the bag, and after a bit of a wild throw from Lonnie Chisenhall, so Orlando is 1 for 3. Here's a Mazda game break, and we go to Chicago, where the Tigers had an off day yesterday, and now Alex Avila. Opposite field, home run. Wow, in and out of the glove of Melky Cabrera. Oh.
I wonder what Hawk Harrelson had to say about that one.
Oh. One and one to Dyson. Gerard has tripled and scored a run and has a sac bunt. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, he's bummed about this a lot. So you gotta be bleeping me.
He's not saying you can put it on the board.
That's for sure.
Tragic. Absolutely tragic. Royals fans are tearing up all around Kansas City after that Alex Avila home run. If you're a Royals fan, who are you rooting for in that game?
I would think most are going to be rooting for the White Sox.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you're rooting. In theory, you should be rooting for the White Sox because the Royals are chasing the Tigers. But what Royals fan right now is rooting for the White Sox and Jeff Samardzija? Anyway, 2-2 on Dyson. Full count with Colon on deck. Salazar is out now, 107 pitches. Season high is 115. That is his 8th strikeout. Now Christian Colon, if the Royals can maintain this lead, that might be his last shot to extend his hitting streak to 9 games. He is grounded back to Salazar and he is grounded to third.
Now, Monty, Salazar, I love his tempo. I like how he gets that ball, he gets up on that slab and he throws the ball. And here it comes. And he's got 3, 4 different pitches he can use.
And he knows before he gets the ball back which one he's going to throw, so he's in control. He's got that command and that tempo, and that's a huge thing for a pitcher. I noticed when he was pitching from the stretch a little bit, not quite as quick, which we've talked about a lot with some pitchers, and he's one of those guys that kind of falls into that category.
And then now he's obviously has a great future ahead of him.
Perez runs to the screen, but it's several rows back.
But I'm seeing 97, 98, and I'm seeing that split finger. He'd be a great closer too. But now, just because you have the stuff, what would he have to go through mentally to become a closer?
Well, for him, he's got stuff, so that is part of the battle right there. But understanding the situations, going out there and pitching to the situation of the game, that's important for a closer to really kind of master and understand that part of the game too. But really need 2 pitches, 2 really high quality pitches like he has to be effective for that 1 inning. So he would be right in that mold for a guy that could be dominant as a closer.
It is a 9 strikeout game for Salazar in 7 innings, but the Royals lead 4-2. outdoor power equipment. Quality, reliability, and value. Search STIHL. By your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Most of the scoring was done in the first inning. Cleveland got 2 on a Michael Brantley home run. The Royals got 3 on an Eric Hosmer home run, and then Alex Gordon drove in a run in the bottom of the 5th inning. So the Indians are down to their last 6 outs. Now they got to get through Kelvin Herrera and presumably Wade Davis. Ryan Madsen has already pitched a scoreless 7th inning, and Royals pitchers, going back to the Indians 2-run first, have retired 20 of the last 22 Indians hitters.
Madsen, nice, solid, strong inning. 1, 2, 3. Now it's up to Kelvin Herrera to go ahead and finish it off here, and then hand it over to the waiter. Oh, my.
That ball is hit deep into the night and gone. And that puts an end to a long streak of innings for Kelvin Herrera without allowing a home run. 105 1/3 innings without allowing a home run. You got to go all the way back to 2 seasons ago. July of 2013, Connor Gillespie of the White Sox went deep, and nobody against Herrera until this pitch to Chisenhall.
You wondered when it was going to end. 96. Very smooth and long. It was a no-doubter. You know, we talked about the no-hitter and jinxing it and wanting to say, I haven't been wanting to say that about him or Wade Davis. Just for that whole reason right there. But that's an incredible streak, especially as hard as you throw, and hitters love that fastball.
This is Michael Bourne batting for Roberto Perez. And we told you earlier in the game that Michael Bourne, their regular leadoff man and center fielder, is not going to be playing against left-hand pitching, at least for now. Hitting just 195, but now that Herrera's in there, Terry Francona goes to Bourne, who slaps it out to left field. And 1 down in the 8th inning. After this series, the Royals will head to Detroit for another big 3-gamer with the Tigers. And you'll see Friday's game here on Fox Sports Kansas City. Saturday's game will be televised nationally on Fox Sports 1. Coverage begins at 11:30, and then after that, it's the Braves and the Nationals. Your home for baseball every Saturday is Fox Sports 1. Jason Kipnis is 1 for 3 with a 6th inning double.
You've got to feel pretty good about your stuff if you can go over 105 innings in the big leagues without anybody touching you and taking you deep. That's incredible.
So, as you would expect, that was the longest current streak in the major leagues, and now Wade Davis has the longest current streak, 92 consecutive innings without allowing a home run. 2-1 to Kipnis.
Well, let's hope that one doesn't end tonight.
Try and put that into perspective. If the starting pitcher these days pitches 210 innings, I think that's a good year, right? As far as innings go. Well,
right.
Imagine going half of those 210 without allowing a home run. Now it's a little different because hitters don't get a second look at Herrera in the same game like they would a starting pitcher. But still, man, that is a long time. And fortunately for the Royals, Alex Gordon drove in a run in the bottom of the 5th inning. So even with the home run, Royals still have the lead as Davis is starting to stretch out. Get his legs and arm ready for the 9th inning. Well hit to right center. Dyson on the move and makes it look routine.
Lorenzo Cain will be out there tomorrow, but watch Dyson straight away, playing him straight. Takes a first step right to where he's going to be, and right where that ball's coming down. I don't think there was any kind of a
banana route.
Yeah, no bad angle route there. I mean, you can't catch. That ball was hit on the screws. The only way you're going to get that is you go right to it.
And remember, in the category of defensive runs saved, Royals far and away are the leaders in the major leagues. Last year, when the season was over, the Royals had a total of 40 defensive runs saved. They already have 30. Carlos Santana will bat left-handed for the first time. He walked and scored on the Brantley home run in the 1st inning. Remember the series that he had here in July of last year. Carlos Santana had 5 home runs in one 3-game series. That was a record for an opponent in this ballpark, Royals or Kauffman Stadium.
I don't think I've ever witnessed one guy, one hitter, having that kind of series ever. Have you? He was totally dominant every time he came up.
Hasn't had any success with Herrera. Changeup makes it 1-2.
Great spot. That's perfect. Santana's knows it.
Two and two. Vargas went 6, gave up 2 runs in the 1st inning. He finished by retiring 17 of the last 19. Madsen turned in a scoreless 7th, and the Indians have won in the 8th against Herrera. That makes Santana 0 for 11 with 6 strikeouts against Kelvin Herrera. So the streak is over, but the Royals still have the lead. 4-3 coming up in the bottom of the 8th. same time. Hy-Vee Royals Live begins at 6:30. Danny Duffy and Carlos Carrasco. And the final game is Thursday afternoon. When the Royals hit the road, they'll go to Detroit for 3, Texas for 4. Nick Hagedorn is the new Indians pitcher. And 3 of the first 4 hitters coming up are left-hand hitters, beginning with Alex Gordon, although Alex usually hangs in there well against lefties. And with Michael Bourne pinch hitting for Roberto Perez, former Royal Brett Hayes takes over behind home plate. Alex has 2 hits tonight, a run scored, and an RBI.
See if somehow the Royals can get that run back.
Alex has done very well against this left-hand pitcher. And he probably had the green light if he wanted it. 3 balls, 1 strike. 2 for 3 tonight. 4 for 9 against Hagedorn with a home run. Three and 2. He was tempted and takes ball 4. So a good start to get that run back. Royals have the leadoff man on. One of the hot spots at Kauffman Stadium, renovated area where the old Stadium Club used to be. Craft and Draft in the loge level down the left field line. That's where we're going to broadcast tomorrow. Monty was up there during the Tigers series giving us a little preview. Fouled away by Mike Moustakas. Nice catch by a fan right below us. That's a tough play.
Wasn't easy.
And that was a swing. Tony Randazzo on appeal. 0-2 to Moustakas. For 3 so far tonight. He lost a hit on a diving stop by Aviles back in the 5th inning.
.313 hitter against southpaws this year. Moose found the right formula.
Out into center field. Brantley coming in to make a running play. So a good swing against a left-hand pitcher, but hitting into tough luck. Tonight, Fox Sports Live will get you caught up on NHL and NBA playoff action and today's MLB games. You can see Fox Sports Live tonight on Fox Sports 1 or see it simulcast right here on Fox Sports Kansas City. Kendrys Morales, our most trusted player, brought to you by the most trusted brand, Honda. Home run, 5 RBIs for Morales. Last time the Royals faced the Indians. He is 5th in the league with 21 RBIs. and 10 in his previous 6 games. Brandon Moss out in right field, waits and puts it away. 2 down. Yeah, I just saw a startling statistic here, and talking about the Indians and their struggle to score runs. You know, if you're an American League team, you have to kind of depend on allowing 3 runs, maybe 4 runs more times than not, don't you think?
You would think.
I mean, that's not a huge number. When the Indians allow 3 or more runs, which they have tonight, their record is 3-14. I would bet that's, for most teams, 5 or more runs. A record like 3-14.
Huh. You'd think maybe their bullpen can't hold it. What is that? I wonder why.
Or the offense is just not getting to 4 runs very often, 5 runs very often.
I would probably think it was towards the offense, because they've been sputtering, although they are better. The Tribe offensively, first 14 games just hit 220. The last 10 games are 288, so they're trying to warm up. They're trying to get better.
But to your point, Hud, they are 13th in the league in ERA, having problems on defense. A lot of season left, however. Eric Hosmer has a 3-run home run already tonight. He takes a hard slider outside for ball 1. He has outstanding numbers against Danny Salazar, and added to that tonight, he also has good numbers against Nick Hagedorn. Was that a swing? No. 2 on, 1 out in the bottom of the 1st inning.
What a difference maker. That not only gave the Royals the lead, but it comforted starting pitcher Jason Vargas. And Vargas knew what to do. He went out and promptly shut down the Tribe and held him all the way until that Herrera home run.
And now 3-0 on Hosmer.
Vargas was outstanding. Good to see his outing.
Three and one. Pulled up the right field line, and that's down into the corner. So the Royals get that run back, and it's a 4 RBI game for Eric Hosmer.
Got to give him a triple all the way. He wouldn't stop it. Kipnis' throw was to home, but he had no chance to get Gordon. High fastball, 3-0 count. Green light, there it was. His eyes lit up. There goes that flamingo leg kick. Foot comes down, and so does the head of that bat. Hosmer keeps hitting like this. They'll have to have a giveaway night to pass out some earplugs, because it's getting loud. Big run, especially with the meat of their order coming up next inning. Brantley, Rayburn, Moss. But before that, Hagedorn got to go.
Big crowd here tonight, just short of 30,000. Many standing as the Royals have added a run in the bottom of the 8th inning, and now Brian Shaw comes on with Hosmer at third base, 2 down, to face Salvador Perez. Long run, Santana the closest, and he'll find Ken Harvey back there.
That ran out of the room. Good for Salvi. Another shot at it. Santana knew where he was. Little bit leery to get close to that tarp, though. Want to see what's on the other side. Well, since you got Hosmer just 90 feet away, you might as well go ahead and knock him in. Might as well give him Wade Davis a 3-run cushion. Shaw's got a pretty good fastball. 96 cutter, power curve, and a changeup. He's got a plethora of pitches for a reliever.
Oh, and 2 on Perez. Runner at third base, 2 outs. Royals have been excellent with 2 outs. They have been excellent with 2 strikes. They've been very good with runners in scoring position. And Salvador Perez has the 5th best average in the league with a runner in scoring position.
Oh,
hit it hard, but right to Kipnis.
Can't do anything about that.
2-run lead for Wade Davis as we head to the 9th. Right by him at 97 miles an hour.
He struck him out, and the Royals win. Davis with the save.
Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals. They may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Brian Lefevre, Rex Hudler, Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery. Kauffman Stadium. Royals and the Indians, with producer Joe Lavero, director Steve Kurtenbach, associate producers Al Brott and Sam Abramson. Happy birthday, Sammy. Dave Holtzman, and the producer of Royals Live is Brian Shapiro. So Wade Davis on for his 6th save, and he'll get the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the Indians lineup.
Tribe's going to see a fastball that'll reach 97. He'll throw a cut fastball around 93 to 95. And he's got a nice little overhand curve like Mr. Brantley just saw there. Very tough. Holland's been out for at least 15 days. And they haven't missed a beat. A lot of depth. Ryan Matson's made a big difference out there. Frazier, same way.
Alex charging in from left and calls off Colon. One down. Our sprint cuts of the game. There was a good cut against Vargas in the first inning and not many after that.
I'll say only gave up 2 total hits. He went 6 strong. 5 punch outs. Vargas, he settled in once Hobbs took care of him. Hit that 3-run bomb. Vargas had the scalpel out and was cutting it up. Speaking of the sprint cuts of the day.
David Murphy is going to bat for Ryan Rayburn. And that's backing out of play. No balls, 2 strikes. So you've got Rayburn, who hits against the lefties and only has 5 at-bats against right-hand pitching. And now you have David Murphy, who starts against the righties. He doesn't have 1 at-bat against the lefties. That is a strict platoon.
And it works. You get both guys productive against one side of the mound to the other. I mean, that's all that matters. Of course, you got to get the guys to buy into that.
Still 1-2. Rayburn was 0 for 3. The Indians have 2 hits since the first inning and 3 total hits in the game. Colon makes a leaning play at shortstop for the second out.
We talked about it before our show even begun tonight, and that is who's going to make the play on defense. So far, Colon. Now, that one was pretty easy for him, but it was the first play of the game at shortstop that he made a bouncer barehanded and threw it over to first base. We saw Dyson in center field run one down. Every single game, these fans keep coming out and are entertained by great defense by someone. You just never know who.
And Colon made that play against this guy, Brandon Moss, back in the first. Moss is 0 for 3. 29,099 here tonight. 1-1. Two and one on Moss. Line base hit right field. Nick Swisher off the disabled list today, playing in his first game. 0 for 3, been out after having surgery on both knees last August.
It won't be easy for Swisher. He knows it. Whenever you haven't had any live hitting in a big league game for a while, it's tough. It's been tough on him anyway.
Royals will let Moss run if he wants to. He's looking in the dugout now, looking at his first base coach Sandy Alomar Jr. to see if he should run. He's way off of the bag. He will take off, and it's 2-1. Defensive indifference. No stolen base for Moss. Two and two. Royals are one strike away from taking game one, and we've been saying that all season long. The Royals are 8-0 in the opening game of a series. Game one goes to the Royals. 97 miles an hour, and Wade Davis is 6 for 6 in save opportunities. Eric Hosmer drives in 4 of the 5, and the Royals win it 5-3.
Waiter, check please. Gotta love Vargas for what he did. Madsen came on with 3 solid quick outs. Oh, the pin to win, no question. Vargas pitched into a little bit of contact, but he had the scalpel out, and he set the tone, especially after the opposite field bomb by Hosmer, who took it to the hydration station. He went oppo with a little popo.
And another win for Ned Yost as he continues to climb up the ranks. Ned is now 20 wins shy for most in Royals franchise history.
Oh man, I'm going to tell you that swing there, Ned Yost said, you know what? You could hang 2 weeks worth of my laundry on that liner, because that was a beauty. Then Hollis says, you know what? I'm not done. 3-0, got the green light, pulls that baby down the line. Alex Gordon comes trotting home. And there's a 3-bagger for Hollis.
So, Joel, he was just a single and a double shy of hitting for the cycle.
Yeah, got the hard parts out of the way, the home run and the triple. No single and double for the cycle. Eric Hosmer, 4 RBIs on the game in front of another huge crowd here at Kauffman Stadium. How about the environment, first of all, here tonight?
It's unbelievable. It's been every day like this, and you know it's truly an advantage for us to come and play here at the K, so we appreciate all the love.
The first inning home run. There's no Gatorade bucket tonight. That's the good news. See, he just switched up his tactics. You switched sides, and he went with a different approach. First inning, they put up a couple runs. You come right back with 3. How big was that against the pitcher and Danny Salazar, who's been really on this year?
It was big. You know, they got a lot of tough arms over there, and we got some guys missing from the offense, so we knew we had to step up, and Gordo did a great job of getting on base, setting the table there, and Vargy really did a good job of settling in after that and put the game in cruise control.
Does it help? I mean, he's a really good pitcher. To have homered against him last week, any kind of comfort level for you?
Yeah, you know, we just got done facing him on the last road trip, so that definitely is an advantage, but he's a tough guy to face, and he's a tough at-bats. We found a way to get some runs in there tonight, and like I said, Vargy and the pitching staff did a great job of holding it down.
Last thing for you, you guys, anytime you've lost 2 in a row, which has not happened often, you've come right back with a win. What does that say about this group and the ability to stop any kind of losing streak?
You know, we bounced back good. We had a nice little off day and responded well from it, and you know, we have all the confidence in the world playing here at the K. We know this is an advantage for us, and we got to keep it rolling.
4 RBIs. Great job tonight. We'll see you back tomorrow.
Thanks, Phil.
Eric Hosmer, the absolute star of this one. We'll be talking about him and much more coming up on Boulevard Royals Live.
All right, Joel, thank you. So Wade Davis, 6 out of 6 in save opportunities, with Greg Holland expected to come back from the disabled list tomorrow. Big night for Eric Hosmer and the Royals as they take game 1. We'll be right back.